Blender has just gained a brand new partnership as the folks at Netflix Animation Studio has joined the Blender Development Fund as Corporate Patron, bringing the number of corporate patrons to 6, which means that each of these patrons gets to donate a minimum of €240,000 annually. And this goes to various sections that has to do with the development of Blender, except for Epic Games that actually did give a grant, and that in itself is huge. And this is a welcome development as this is potentially going to contribute to the development of Blender's animation tools. And of course, we've seen a couple of Blender animations and related projects on Netflix, and this partnership would potentially solidify a lot of creative and animation related tools that will be making their way to Blender, as Netflix Animation Studio seems to be paving the way for a bolder future as they're simply partnering with the world's most open source 3D tool that is offering a lot of creators an opportunity to tell their stories. And cutting into this particular community through the Blender Development Fund will potentially pave the way for Blender to be recognized as that open source industry standard tool that it has always yearned for. And for those who like to read up on the press release, you can simply come through and find it right here. And this support from the folks at Netflix Animation Studio will be dedicated towards the general Blender core development to continuously improve content creation tools for individuals and teams working in media and entertainment related workflows. And of course, we can see that the current CEO at Blender, Francesco Cid, has put out a statement saying that this membership is a significant acknowledgement of Blender becoming more embedded in high-end animation studios' workflow. I deeply appreciate this strategic initiative from Netflix Animation Studios as an investment in a diverse public and open source friendly ecosystem of creative tools that will benefit the global community of content creators. And I do agree with this particular statement. Prior to the Netflix Animation Studio joining Blender's Development Fund, we've seen a ton of nice looking animations from community members by just using Blender as it is, which of course is an open source tool. Outside that, we also have some nice feature-length animations which partly or fully were done inside of Blender that currently exist on Netflix. Animations like Maya and the Tree, which was a mini-series that was created by simply using Blender as the central part of the production pipeline, which of course had to do with modeling, animation, lighting, all of that stuff. Then we've got Next Gen, which was a feature-length animation movie. The folks at Tangent Animation and NetEase actually used Blender as the primary tool for making this movie. From modeling to rigging, animation, lighting, rendering, all that stuff was done in Blender. Then we've got some other ones which had to do with Rabbit Invasion, Mission to Mars, and Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix. So clearly, Netflix has an idea of the capabilities that Blender can offer. And to solidify if Blender is capable, recently, Flow, a feature-length animation movie which was done entirely in Blender, actually won an Oscar. So if there's a proof if Blender is capable of creating top quality animations, there you go. These are feature-length animations and series that simply proves that Blender has the capability to deliver. And back here within the release note, the Senior Vice President of Global Technology at Netflix Animation Studios, Darren Grant, has gone on to say that Netflix Animation Studios' corporate membership with Blender reflects our ongoing support for open source software in the animation community. We are proud to be the first major animation studio to support Blender's continued development and growing adaptation by current and future generations of animation professionals. And this is really good. And yes, in terms of scale and resources, Netflix Animation Studios might be the first major animation studio. However, they're not the first animation studio to support Blender. The folks at Ubisoft Animation Studio, they did support Blender as corporate gold members, and we also saw Studio Kara support Blender as corporate silver members. Then Project Studio Q, which I believe is a subsidiary of Studio Kara, did support Blender as corporate bronze members. And let's not forget Tangent Animation / Tangent Lab. This was also another animation studio that didn't just support Blender financially, but they also helped with the development. And yes, it is the same folks at Tangent that produced the Next Gen, which is the Netflix animation that we mentioned earlier. Although the support that Tangent gave wasn't more like support in terms of development, funds and stuff like that, but it did contribute immensely to Blender's production-ready features, which we did see in the 2.8 release cycle. And for context, some of the things that it contributed to includes the supporting of 2 full-time Blender Institute developers to work on Blender's new 2.8 viewport and related features. At the same time, they also hired their very own Cycles development team and contributed to Cycles code and enhancements that you get to see in Blender. And all of this support was going on until they got snagged away by Autodesk, which sadly stopped a lot of development as they were going through some rough patches financially. And with Netflix Animation Studio stepping in, I would like to believe that they will be supporting the development of Blender as a studio that already has a pipeline and potentially knows what a pipeline needs to get things going. The finances from Netflix Animation Studio will help hire a couple of developers to build more pipeline-related tools or polish the tools that currently exist in Blender for various use cases which would be related to production and also team-related workflows. And of course, if you do have a team and you're wondering what version of Blender you can use, there are LTSs, and hopefully with the 5 series which is already here and ongoing, we might be seeing some amazing features that has to do with animation pipeline and storytelling make their way to Blender. And for those who have no idea about Netflix Animation Studio, well, Netflix Animation Studio have been around since 2018. Now, it is worth mentioning that sometime in the 2020s-ish, they did merge with Animal Logic VFX, which was an Australian VFX and computer animation digital studio that was based at Disney Studio in Sydney, Canada, and Right Back branch in Los Angeles, California, United States. And after this, Netflix now based their animation studio and production company in Burbank, California, and offices in Sydney, Australia, and Vancouver, Canada. And of course, they've done nice feature movies, which is amazing. The storytelling skills are just super impressive, and production is beautiful. From K-pop Demon Hunters to The Twist to In Your Dreams, these are very popular, nice, cool ones. You should see them if you haven't. Then we've got Thelma and the Unicorn, very nice one as well. Ultraman was good. I would love you guys to see Orion and the Dark. Nimona is also a very nice one. Sea Beast was also really good. Leo, The Mitchells vs. the Machines, also a very nice one as well. Klaus was also very popular at the time. So they've got lots of nice stuff. Scrooge is also really cool. They've also got the Vivo, which is amazing. You should see Vivo as well. The Troll Hunters is also nice. This is more like a series style stuff, I believe. Then we've got Over the Moon and Wish Dragon. So everything that they have in terms of the movies that they've put out looks pretty cool. So all of these are nice feature-length movies available on Netflix that you can see. And for those who want to see more about their technology and stuff, you can come through and check out some of the technologies and how they get to think about stuff. There are certain areas that they possibly will be looking for people. So just in case you have any of the skill set, you can actually come through and explore some of the job offers that they currently have. And of course, for those who like to read up on these, possibly you like to see these, or maybe you like to read up on several stuff that they've mentioned before, then links to this is going to be in the description, so do well to check it out. It is also worth mentioning that we previously covered Dell Technology, as they're pretty new in terms of the corporate gold support for Blender's development, and they somehow are being sponsored by Nvidia. We did cover that in a previous video, so just in case you'd like to find out more about it. So this is it. Netflix Animation Studio is now part of the corporate patrons, which are now funding Blender, and hopefully we might be seeing some cool stuff come to future versions of Blender, and with Blender Lab now being available, we might see some innovations in that regards as well. Tell me what you guys think about this one in the comment section, and until I see you guys in the next one, peace.